Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Laila Istianah, NPM 1916041074. I will explain a case that is already familiar in Indonesia, namely the case of traffic violation. Let me use this case as an example of a policy, as an English language excitement. There are still many motorcyclists who do not obey the existing traffic regulation, even though the regulations regarding the traffic of motorbike users are very commonly understood. But many still violate this regulation and sometimes have to deal with the police, even though these regulations are made for the safety and comfort of the drivers themselves and are not detrimental, right? But why are there still so many motorists who break it? Sometimes I still like to be surprised. Just look at the worst consequence of disobeying traffic rules, such as accidents. Luckily, if you have an incident, but it is not severe or not fatal, but it is more fortunate if you don't experience it at all. Just look at the people who sometimes obey traffic rules, such as wearing a helmet, for example, and have accidents. Sometimes they still experience fatal consequences and even death. Then how about those who do not obey them at all? Wants to die? Or are you tired of living? Well, it depends on the truth of it. However, sometimes if we do not comply with traffic regulation, we will be ticketed by the police. However, there are still people who carefully violate traffic regulation and even get angry with the police, even though they pay a lot of money if they get ticketed. The main review of traffic regulation is to enhance the quality of smoothness and safety of all traffic on the roads. The identification of problems based on the route revolves around traffic problems, conventional revolves around traffic jams, traffic violence, traffic accidents, maintenance, and environmental pollution. Traffic congestion means a process where a movement of road users that occurs in the certain place. Obstacles can occur within reasonable limits, but possible within relative short time limits. In addition, the movement of the vehicle may stop complete or stagnate. The highway is a means for humans to establish a relationship between places by using various types of vehicles. But motorized and non-motorized roads have an important role in the economic, political, social, cultural, defense, security, and legal fields, and are used for the maximum welfare of the people. Before I discuss this further, I will relate this problem to the theory in the book, a bias radar for responsible policy making foresight-based scientific advice, as a reference for solving a problem. The section evidence-based policy making in the book refers to false decision based entirely on scientific evidence, and the approach assumes that scientific evidence is fault-free and as such best serves the needs of society. But policies based solely on scientific evidence are technocratic, which is not the goal of policy in a democracy. Democratic policymakers combine the best available evidence with their understanding of society's needs. What we call evidence-based policymaking use the best available scientific evidence but contextualize it within the frameworks of what policymakers believe are consistent with citizens' expectations, policies, and preferences. Chris Donnelly, a fellow of the Royal Society or UK, and her co-author argue in 4 principles to make evidence synthesis more useful for policy that's accurate, concise, and unbiased. Synthesis of the available scientific evidence is one of the most valuable kinds of help that officers can offer policymakers, and they recommend that advisor refers policymaker. Common question: what is the evidence for that? As the more useful has all of the available evidence relating to that been sufficiently synthesized. They stands for principle for advisors to make their synthesis of scientific evidence as useful to policymakers as possible. Synthesis should be inclusive, rigorous, transparent, and accessible. As they explain, a synthesis is inclusive when it covers many types. First of all, we can start with the hypothetical problem. Suppose a policymaker asks, how can we reduce traffic infringement cases in Indonesia? Six additional questions will afford such as: who broke the traffic rules? Citizen, public, student? What's really the unruly? Whether traffic pollution occurs, in which geography should episode focus? When did the pollution occur? Does it happen seasonally? Yet there's an opportunity. Why are they breaking traffic rules? Is it because they don't know, or pretend you don't know? How so that there are no more traffic pollution? What regulation can you overcome? What kind of action? So from this question, we will be able to get policy alternative. Since this is a common problem in Indonesia, the government has continually used many policy on these issues. Not only police, but also regulation that have been regulated in Law Number 22, years 2009, regarding road traffic and transportation, which was passed by the GVR on June 22, 2009, such as imposing a fine as a penalty for traffic offenders. The contexts are: 1. Every motorized vehicle driver who does not have a driver's license will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 4 months or a maximum fine 1 million rupiah. Article 218(1). 2. Every motorized vehicle driver who has a driver's license but cannot show it during the ride will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 1 month or a maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 218(8), paragraph 2. 3. Every motorized vehicle driver who is not equipped with a vehicle's number will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 2 months or a maximum fine 500,000 rupiah. Article 280. Every motorbike rider who does not meet the technical and roadworthiness requirements such as mirror, headlights, brake lights, horns, speed guards, and movers will be punished with imprisonment of up to 1 month or a maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 218(5), paragraph 1. 5. Every motorist who does not meet the technical requirements such as mirrors, horns, headlights, reverse lights, brake lights, whistles, bumpers, wipers will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 2 months or a maximum fine of 500,000 rupiah. Article 218(5), paragraph 2. 6. Every motorist who is not equipped with equipment in the forms of spare tires, safety triangles, jacks, wheel openers, and first aid equipment in an accident will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 1 month or a maximum fine of 250,000 rupiah. Article 278. 7. Every motorist who violates traffic signs will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 2 months or a maximum fine 500,000 rupiah. Article 278, paragraph 1. 8. Every motorist who violates the maximum or lowest speed limit rule will be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 2 months or a maximum fine 500,000 rupiah. Article 278, paragraph 5. 9. Every driver who is not equipped with a certificate of motor vehicle numbers or motor vehicle trial certificate shall be punished with a maximum imprisonment of 2 months or a maximum fine of 500,000 rupiah. Article 218(8), paragraph 1. Every driver or passenger who sits the driver of the car not wearing a safety belt will be punished with imprisonment of up to 1 month or a maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 289. Next, every motorbike rider or passenger who does not wear a national standard helmet will punishment with imprisonment of up to 1 month or a maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 291, paragraph 1. Every person driving a motorized vehicle on the roadway without running on the main lights and nights and under certain conditions as referenced to in Article 107, paragraph 1, shall be subject to imprisonment for a maximum of 1 month or a maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 293, paragraph 1. Next, anyone who drives and motorcycle on the roads without turning on the main light during the days as referenced to in Article 107, paragraph 2, shall be subject to imprisonment for a maximum of 15 days or a maximum fine of 100,000 rupiah. Article 293, paragraph 2. Next, every motorbike rider who turns or reverses without giving a light signal will be subject to a maximum imprisonment of 1 month or maximum fine 250,000 rupiah. Article 294. The solution expressed in the theory in the book are based on responsible policy making. Policy-based scientific advice is more oriented towards the future of saying future impacts. The expert solutions are viewed from a social, economic, environmental, dependency, demographic, political, and legal perspective. Settlement through law enforcement official, in this case the traffic police, acts as a deterrent and as an action taker in a political functional. In addition, the traffic police also perform regulatory function. For example, regulating the obligation for certain motorized vehicles to complete the safety triangle, and regulatory function, particularly in terms of licensing or vegan tagging. For example, issuing a driving license. Okay, the conclusion. As good citizens, we must obey the existing rules. The rules are made for the good of society. It serves so that people live in safety and peace. And by obeying the rules, we will live in order and order. Our role must be to support the government for the advancement of the Indonesian nation. And the last, to avoid policy action that will regret later. Scientific advice should conduct across policy impact assessments for each of the policy options they formulate. This involves identifying the existing policy that each policy option might affect and analyzing the possible impacts. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your good attention. If there is a word I'm sorry, to Allah I ask forgiveness. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.